Hello and welcome to Your Daily Detroit. It is your Friday show, April 1st, 2022. And be forewarned, there will be a little bit of tomfoolery. But my name is not Tom, it's Jer Stays, coming to you from east of Woodward. And on the line, as every Friday, he is
Devin O'Reilly. I'm from west of Woodward over here today.
It's good to hear you.
Great to talk to you, Jer. Glad that tomfoolery is still in the air, even 2 weeks out of the capital of tomfoolery day, St. Patrick's Day.
I believe that we both have a lot of caffeine in us right now.
We do. So I've got something I had. This is actually my second day in a row because I was there yesterday. There's a new coffee shop, Haraz Coffee, relatively new, just in the past year or so. Haraz Coffee that opened up in East Dearborn across from kind of the old city hall on Michigan Avenue. It's a Yemeni coffee, and it seems like there's a proliferation of these Yemeni coffee spots opening up. This one is it's amazing. I mean, obviously Yemen is the birthplace of coffee, and it just hits different. Like the spices, the flavors, it just totally different. And it's rich and amazing. And for someone who really is a caffeine fiend like myself, it's a perfect kind of morning pick me up.
It'll give you a strong wake-up punch, but man, I do love Yemeni coffee. It's something special.
Yeah, and many people do, Jer, and they seem to be expanding. We had some expansion within the city of Dearborn with Awa House, another Yemeni coffee establishment. And I actually spoke with the owner yesterday from Haraz, and they had mentioned that they're already expanded into Warren. So they've kind of skipped over the city of Detroit first and went into another suburb in Warren, and they're already opening up 2 more locations in the next few months. So there's going to be one on Anthony Wayne Drive near the Wayne State campus, and there's going to be one on John R. near the DMC campus.
Now, I enjoy Yemeni coffee, but you clearly drink it far more often. What would be your first recommendation for someone getting into it?
You know, I'm a black coffee drinker, so what I get on the menu is the Sanani, which is simply coffee with cardamom. But their coffee is a very kind of a thick, rich coffee. They brew it with a lot of other spices. So, you know, you're going to have things like ginger, cinnamon. They leave the husks of the spices in there to steep, and it comes out really, really rich. And I say this in a nice way. There's always like a little bit of a sludge at the bottom of all like the real nice blended spices. So it's a very rich blend of coffee.
I have realized that over the last few weeks, I have not been giving respect to a coffee that my housemate absolutely loves, and he orders it. They deliver it, which is even cooler. This is something that started in the pandemic and then just kind of kept on going. My housemate is very big into hacker and maker spaces, and near one in Ferndale is a place called Hazano. And it is a place that's been around for a while, small independent roastery, comes in a red bag, and I am currently drinking espresso that is a first cut Brazil with notes of chocolate, walnuts, and it's apparently bold, which it is. Now, this is more of a specialty coffee, and so with specialty coffees, I will have espresso just straight as it is. You know, the espresso that you get at Starbucks is very like strong and dark, and it's good for mixed stuff. But if you want to drink an espresso and like feel flavors, you need to go more of the specialty route.
Now, do you drink that black, Jer?
Yeah. When it comes to specialty, I'll drink it black. If it's not specialty, what I'll do is a cortado.
Okay.
Which is like half espresso, half steamed milk.
Great. Well, now that we're charged up and ready to roll, let's get into some headlines.
Now, friends, with this segment, let us remember the date, April 1st, 2022. I feel like I have to say that with the literal internet. There is a new deputy mayor in the city of Detroit, Mayor Mike Puggin. He is a 4-year-old fawn pug. He will live at the Manugian Mansion, the mayor's residence, and if you show proof of Detroit residency, you may pet him. 1,000 new residents reportedly have moved into the city in the couple of weeks since Puggin moved into Detroit. And next week, Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitmer will present him with an award as an economic engine. In his off hours, Puggin raises money for the Michigan Humane Society.
This seems like a no-brainer from the mayor's office to bring on this deputy mayor. I think he's going to do some great things, and obviously bringing residents into the city and driving economic growth are two of the mayor's biggest kind of focuses here. So sounds like the Puggin administration, as it were, is off to a great start.
Well, the ROI on the investment in kibble has got to be exponential.
Indeed, it does, Jerry. And we know Detroit is a city that loves its canines, so I'm sure he's going to do very well.
A number of companies have added S's to their names officially. This is after years of consumer habits have shown that's the preference. Ford's, Myers, Kroger's, and Penny's have made the change. Originally known as JCPenney, Ford, Meijer, and Kroger, they've just embraced the S. Although there are a number of TikTokers who have grabbed those handles, and so they'll have to get those back.
Well, Jerry, I think most of the public won't even notice because that's what we were calling them anyway. So this is kind of just making it official, but that was long overdue.
The customer is always right. Now in the suburbs, there was a conference outside of Warren City Hall on Thursday. The council members and Mayor Jim Fouts spent 3 hours in a circle settling their differences over a substance that smelled much like marijuana. There's no confirmation by press time, but officials deny use of the, quote, wacky tobacco.
This strain, whatever he must be smoking now, is clearly causing him to have a different reaction and be much more docile and open to speaking with his constituents and the city council. And it's just glad to see that they're patching things up. I'm sure they're going to just put their differences aside, and it's a new day in Warren.
I hear that there is a huge plan for more mass transit and an actual downtown.
And maybe Macomb can get another statue to add to the Golden Circle.
All right, back to reality and some real things to talk about, although we're going to try to keep it kind of light considering the day. There was news about the QLINE this week. Officials say that it will be free to ride for the rest of the year, and it'll also get some enhancements. Those free rides are being paid for by the Penske Corporation and Kresge Foundation. There is a spiffy website, which actually is a market improvement. No snark there. Signal priority is coming to 26 intersections, they say, on Woodward, which to me is a pretty big deal. And talking to folks afterward, it's possible this might even be able to be used by buses in the future. And I know it's super transit nerdy, but signal priority could be something that really helps the times on transit on the Woodward corridor. Being able to sync up with the street lights could really change things. Because I don't know if you've ever been on that Q line, but it'll start going and then it'll hit a street light and then you're just stuck there for a while when you could be 3 or 4 or 5 blocks down if you didn't have that street light. It just could make a huge difference, especially on a setup where the majority of it is curbside, which is a decision that we cannot undo. So there we go.
Yeah, the signal priority is huge. It's going to change, I think, a lot about the times. I think you're exactly right, Jer. One of the biggest frustrations I have, and I've ridden the Q line just many, many, many times, one of the big issues was always, the wait times were completely, you couldn't tell from one time to the next when you got to the stop how long it was going to take. And I don't even think the system really knew because, again, they were accounting for the lights, and some of those lights like Mac and Woodward are really, really long lights. So you could add 5-10 minutes just by all these stops. So that was a huge impediment. And, there's been times where I would walk past a Q line and I could get from Midtown to downtown faster than the Q line could get there. Now with the signal priority, I think that will definitely improve not only the time itself, the raw time that it takes, but also it will improve the estimated times to know when your Q line is arriving.
Speaking of things on rail, I also want to mention that the Detroit People Mover should be reopening this month, and it will be free to ride for the first 120 days. Before we let people go, I want to share a little bit of booze news. The Eastern Market Brewing Company has a new thing, Devin.
Oh, well, EMBC always puts out good stuff. So I haven't heard of this yet. What do they got now, Jer?
So I kind of love this name. They're brewing a Resist Anti-Imperial Stout to help the people in Ukraine. The proceeds will be donated to UNICEF. If you're unfamiliar, that is a group that helps children that's been around for a very long time. There will be a release event Saturday at 3 p.m. There's going to be stuff for sale, food from a potato bar. There'll be a DJ. Now, the taste of this thing will be borscht inspired, as it will have beetroot in it. And Eastern Market Brewing Company are kind of the masters of like the novelty short run beer. It's kind of something that they've hung their hat on, if you will.
Yeah, and I love it. I love a good imperial stout. I imagine an anti-imperial stout tastes about the same, but you just feel different drinking it.
You feel freer.
Exactly.
So how about you?
Well, I'm excited because we've got opening day coming up in a week here. The weather, as always, seems questionable, but I was excited to see that a really opening day mainstay, I guess, for years in the past, Anchor Bar is going to reopen for opening day and of course beyond. So they have been closed. They've been closed recently. They're under new management. So they're going to keep a lot of your favorites from Anchor Bar. The menu, the garbage can nachos, chopped salad. That'll all stay the same. They're going to add some new things to the menu. So they're going to really kick things off with a party on opening day, which will be great. I will definitely stop by, and I'm looking forward to having Anchor Bar back in the downtown repertoire over there in the kind of Financial District, Fort Street area, which is a favorite of mine.
Yeah, I mean, the place has been open for decades. They've tried various upscalings of the place, but they've also faced a lot of headwinds.
They have faced a lot of headwinds, and they've done a really good job though of the interior remodel that they did in the past few years. It kind of took on a mid-century vibe. It's super, super cool. And I just think, Jared, it's a great old historic bar. I know it has some kind of affinity for you because it was a big kind of newsman's bar, reporter bar because of where it was, located when the newspapers were down there. So, the Free Press staff was always kind of hanging around that bar. So it's got some great old Detroit history.
For sure. I mean, TV stations, that was all. Lafayette was known as Press Row. You had, for a while, I think it was WWJ. You still have WDIV, so you got print and radio and television. I just imagine people drinking old Three Feathers blended whiskey and chomping cigars back in the day.
All right, well that's it, Jared. We're gonna have to grab a drink at Anchor Bar, the newly reopened Anchor Bar.
And just in the inbox, I wanted to mention this project in the Live 6 neighborhood on McNichols, just west of Livernois in the city of Detroit. The Detroit Pizza Bar is going to be opening up on April 8th. It's an interesting space. It's 4,500 square feet. 100% of the staff hired are Detroit residents, with the almost all of them living within 2 miles of the restaurant. So it's good to have those kind of local jobs. It's funded in part by the Strategic Neighborhood Fund. It's also notably Black owned. So the official opening is on April 8th. So that is something to definitely check out. I'm always up for a good slice. All right, and with that, we are done for this April Fool's Day. I apologize for dragging you through some comedy, Devin.
No, Jared. These were real headlines, Jared. This is important stuff that the people need to know about. Deputy Mayor Puggin. I'm gonna try and set up a meeting, Jared. We should talk to him.
If you had some fun today, remember to tell a friend about the Daily Detroit podcast. With that, I'm Jared Stays.
I'm Devin O'Reilly.
Remember that you are somebody, and I'll see you around Detroit.